Since the dawn of civilization, humanity has strived to explore the miraculous universe. From our own planet to the farthest events and beyond, to discover all of its treasures and to confront all of its horrors. In this voyage, which continues forever, so many questions have been brought up, and an immense amount of knowledge has been accumulated. But, in spite of that, a lot of mysteries still remain. Many of the deepest and most fundamental questions are still unanswered. What exactly is responsible for this universe that we live in? What is the purpose of all of creation? And, after we die, how does our existence continue? Does our consciousness outlive our body? Is there actually life after death? Within this episode, we will explore the purpose of life and what we already know about this mystery. And throughout this exploration, you may possibly grasp a meaningful insight that might bring you deeper in touch with life. Be prepared for a new perception that might change your view forever. Babyhood. A testing time that we are probably unable to remember. Our hearts beat slowly, and we eventually open our eyes. It's dark, and everything seems blurry. People's voices are muffled, and our minds contain no information to make any sense out of anything whatsoever. We flail our arms around, and we cry in confusion. But, day by day, our familiarity with this place, wherein we ended up for some reason, increases and sophisticates with every experience. Over time, we make many decisions that shape our journeys and decide our destinies. And eventually, we create our own purposes to our lives. But many tend to ask this question, which remains unanswered for their entire lifetime. What is the true purpose of life? Since our species has had the ability to think freely and autonomously, we have attempted to find the answer to the question, what the true purpose of life actually is. And, within the last few centuries, with all our technologies, and with so much knowledge at our disposal, many intellectuals dived deep into this issue, in an attempt to solve the mystery, for once and for all. But, never, up to this day, has anyone actually been successful. And the resolve to find the answer still continues on. If we think about this with a degree of clarity, this fact alone should be enough to come to conclusions. The more we come to know about this universe, the more we discover that there's a vast underlying perfection to it, with endless complexity and astounding precision. And bearing that fact in mind, how strange is it that the purpose of life, which should in fact be the reason for our births, and the entire meaning of our existence, is nowhere to be found, and remains a mystery for millennia? If life actually had a purpose to it, then that purpose should have been crystal clear long ago. Should it not? How could that ever be different? Then, why is the purpose of life still a mystery, after so much pondering, for thousands of years? By asking the question, what the purpose of life is, we have two aspects that we separate from one another. One is life, and the other is purpose. And by separating these two, we immediately create a complication. As then, life seems to be without a purpose, and the purpose of life suddenly becomes a mystery to be solved. What if we actually got it all at the wrong end? And that the two elements of purpose and life are actually one and the same? By observing our languages, in which our intuitions played a big part in its evolution, we will find that the term living has become a verb which has been given an emotional meaning. Who is not familiar with this quote? That a life lived in fear is a life half-lived. Or, that a wasted day is one that is lived without a smile. Or what about this quote, that happiness is not a goal, but a byproduct of a life well lived? A quote that puts it well together. Across the globe, and across all times, have we assigned an action and an emotion to the term living. And just think about it for a moment. If life actually has a purpose, then what purpose is conceivably a better one than simply to live? If this is indeed the true purpose of life, then intuitively, we have known the purpose all along, haven't we? What if life actually has a purpose, which in a sense is another thing than living itself? Then, that would mean that our births would solely be for that particular purpose, and that living itself would be left without much meaning. Such a reality would certainly bring about a lot of problems. For instance, for our freedom, and for the quality of all people's lives, as well as for our understanding of this universe, as a lot of apparent beauty would fall apart. There is plenty of reason to be happy about the fact that no one has ever found such a purpose. The chance that we will ever find the purpose of life written somewhere in nature is highly unlikely. It has never been found, and it is only logical that it won't ever be found either. But the wise ones among us deem the encounter of such a phenomena unnecessary. At least we know that living does have a meaning, and what a beautiful one in fact. When we look at the big picture, what other purpose could possibly seem more coherent? If you allow yourself to feel it, that living has a quality to it, then you would undoubtedly look no further for an explanation as to why you are here. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please support us by subscribing to our channel.